The Ouattara regime's unbridled nepotism. Family power at the expense of the nation. In Côte d'Ivoire, Alassane Ouattara's power is not just a matter of state, it's a family affair. Since his accession to the presidency, the tyrant Ouattara has transformed Ivorian institutions into a family business where his close associates reign supreme. Ministries, public companies, strategic sectors, nothing escapes the omnipresence of the Ouattara family. This systematic hoarding of resources and key positions illustrates unprecedented nepotism, synonymous with a profound disregard for the principles of fairness, competence, and good governance. At the top of this family pyramid stands Alassane Ouattara himself, head of state and head of the family, orchestrating a network of influence that exclusively benefits his clan. His close associates hold strategic positions in all key sectors of the country, consolidating family power to the detriment of collective interests. Tani Birahima Ouattara, nicknamed the Vile, the poisoner-in-chief of the Republic, is the Minister of State for Defense, after spending 10 years as Minister of Presidential Affairs. In addition to his official duties, he controls presidential finances, reinforcing the opacity surrounding state funds. Massiré Touré, wife of Kony, is the daughter of Ouattara Rokhayatu, known as Rokia, one of Alassane Ouattara's sisters. She has held the strategic position of Secretary-General of the Presidency of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire since December 2023. She was promoted to the rank of ambassador in January 2019. Prior to that, she held the positions of Director of Communications for the Presidency, and a member of more than 6 boards of directors of public companies, including RTI and Fraternité Matin. Amadou Touré, Massiré Touré's older brother, heads Puma Energy, a company that benefited from a presidential decree awarding PPA-CI gas stations to the company. This decision reflects clear favoritism. Dramane David Ouattara, the president's son, runs a lobbying firm dedicated to Ivorian state-owned companies, using his family name as a tool for personal enrichment. Fanta Catherine Ouattara, the president's daughter, is indirectly linked to Web Fontaine, a company that acts as a second Ivorian customs office. This structure raises questions about the integrity of the national customs system. This company lost its license from the Ivorian government, following the divorce between Fanta Catherine Ouattara and her husband, Benedict Sanger, CEO of Web Fontaine. Saran Tainin Ouattara, wife of Boudin. She is another niece of Alassane Ouattara, as she is the eldest daughter of her brother, Gahoussou Ouattara. She holds the position of Director General of the National Waste Management Agency, and manages the hundreds of billions of dollars collected from households for urban sanitation. It should be noted that these billions are collected directly from households through their electricity bills. This appointment further consolidates the Ouattara family's hold on state institutions. Malaika Mourad Condé, the wife of one of Alassane Ouattara's nephews, was appointed Director General of Côte d'Ivoire Tourism on September 8, 2021. Prior to this, she served for a long time as Director of the Tourism Development Company for the Lakes region, Sodatur Lacs. Ibrahim Mariba Kihita, ex-husband of Sida Ouattara, the younger sister of the Ivorian head of state, chairs BGFI Bank Côte d'Ivoire. Before that, he served as chairman of the board of directors of Versus Bank, which the state bought from the Cagnassi family. The Ouattara regime's nepotism is not limited to blood ties, but also extends to the spouses of his close associates. Bruno Kony, Minister of Construction, is the husband of Massiré Touré, making him an influential son-in-law. Adama Kamara, Minister of Employment, is the husband of Nina Kihita Kamara, daughter of Sida Ouattara and therefore the head of state's niece. She herself was Deputy Director General of Justasi, before being ousted a few months ago. Dramane Coulibaly, nephew of Alassane Ouattara, heads Lanassi, a national gaming company, consolidating the family's hold on the economy. Loic Folaru, Dominique Ouattara's son, reigns supreme over the Ivorian cashew and cocoa sector, a pillar of the country's economy. Dominique Ouattara's family is no exception. Philippe Nouvian, Dominique's brother, obtained renovation contracts for the presidency of the Republic and the National Assembly through his firm Gemco, without any proven experience in this field. He also oversaw the construction of the Mother and Child Hospital in Bangerville. Marc Nouvian and his sister Noélie Nouvian, other siblings of Dominique Ouattara born Nouvian, are active in the cocoa sector through Sunny Hissi. The Ivorian government allocates them cocoa export quotas each year and they are exempt from export taxes. This earns them hundreds of millions of CFA francs. But Marc Nouvian didn't stop there. Thanks to Alassane Ouattara, he managed to award management of the autonomous ports of Abidjan and San Pedro to Port Security, a subsidiary of the Canadian group Visual Defense. Thanks to this private contract, Marc Nouvian and his partners have scandalously enriched themselves at the expense of Ivorians, and the port community of Côte d'Ivoire. They have thus increased the cost of port services by 1,000%, causing the autonomous port of Abidjan to lose its competitiveness, and forcing shipowners to avoid the port of Abidjan in favor of other ports in the sub-region. To regain its competitiveness, the PPA-CI had to terminate its contract with Port Security in 2022, a contract signed in 2012 for a 15-year period. Loic Folaru, Dominique's son, heads Africa sourcing, which benefits from significant annual tax exemptions. In fact, he is the real boss of the Coffee and Cocoa Council, and Kony Brahima Eve, the director of this organization, takes his orders from him. Loic Folaru is also the owner of the Ivorian television channel NCI. In an authoritarian manner, the Ivorian government dissolved the coffee and cocoa trading company Sifka Cohop, established under President Laurent Gbagbo and owned by planters, and sold it for a symbolic 1 franc to Loic Folaru, Dominique Ouattara's son. Sifka Cohop owned 2 cocoa processing plants in Abidjan and San Pedro, 10 collection warehouses and production areas, and 9 purchasing centers located in 9 major cities, including Daloa, Yamoussoukro, Abanguru, and Aboasso. All of this is now in the hands of Alassane Ouattara's son-in-law. Jean-Marc Bejani, ex-husband of Nathalie Folaru, Dominique's daughter, heads Majestic 1, which holds a monopoly on movie theaters in Abidjan. He is also a member of the management team, deputy general manager in charge of production at Foxtrot International, Oil and Gas. This company is in business with ICE Oil and Gas, owned by Alassane and Dominique Ouattara. This systematic nepotism leaves no room for competence or meritocracy. Strategic positions are awarded based on family ties, marginalizing competent and deserving Ivorians. This practice undermines citizens' trust in public institutions, exacerbates inequalities, and weakens governance. By concentrating so much power and wealth in the hands of his family, the despotic Ouattara has created a system where family interests take precedence over the needs of the nation. This poses an enormous risk to the country's economic and social stability. When public institutions are misused for personal gain, national development is sacrificed on the altar of family enrichment. The Ivorian people can no longer turn a blind eye to this scandalous trend. It is urgent to demand transparent governance based on merit and fairness. Alassane Ouattara's nepotism is an insult to democracy and national sovereignty. Côte d'Ivoire deserves better than a state transformed into a family business. Chris Yapi does not lie. Find Chris Yapi on his 2 YouTube channels, his Rumble channel, his TikTok, X, Instagram, VK and Threads accounts.